So I just came across this video right here on Twitter, and it's a two-part video because the it's split up into two different videos. But as you can see, this one's 38 seconds, and I think the other one's like 30 seconds. So it's almost about a little over a minute long. And I want y'all to hear the first part of this video. Then we're going to dissect it, and then I'm gonna play the second part and dissect that one. You know, just like I do all the other videos. And it seems like a lot of the stuff that I found on Twitter to talk about just comes full circle. So first we talked about, you know, the intersectionality and how that doesn't work for heterosexual black men. Then I talked about the misandrous. Now we're going to talk about the buck broken idiot that you'll see in this video. So to give you a little summary, you have this white woman right here talking to this black guy, and he's basically trying to argue down her experience as a white woman in how he feels that he is more worthy to her, or she is to him, being a black man in this society. Listen to what she says and how he responds. It's actually really embarrassing, to be quite honest.
Like because of the scarcity.
If you grow up as a white girl,
yes,
and you get attention from black guys,
yes,
in my experience and all the other white girls that I know, we don't think that getting attention from black guys gives you a status of some sort. If you get attention from the white guys, you do have the status more than if you get attention from black guys.
As a man, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with that.
Well, as a woman who gets attention and who grew up in a white culture more than a black culture, I'm going to tell you that getting attention from black guys is not a badge of honor if you're white.
Okay.
And I'm white.
You are white.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard that first part right there. Now, of course, I'm going to play it back, and we're going to break it down. And once I'm done breaking this part down, then I'm going to go to the second part and do the same thing.
Is it a scarcity?
If you grow up as a white girl,
yes,
and you get attention from black guys,
yes,
in my experience and all the other white girls that I know, we don't think that getting attention from black guys gives you a status.
Now listen to that right there. She says, as a white woman growing up in white America or in white culture, meaning she's been around nothing but white people pretty much all of her life until she probably really branched out into the world and started exposing herself to other groups of people, black men included. She says getting attention from black men and all of her friends and all the girls that she grew up with, that does not give her a status, or that is not seen as a leg up in the world. And for some reason, he had problem grasping what she was saying, because apparently maybe you can tell by his response in this video or in this part right here, he's probably dealt with white women before. He's most likely has. And she never broke it down, or whatever white woman he was with never broke it down the way that she did. And it's scaring the hell out of him right now. Like, his stomach is probably in knots listening to this. He's probably on fire. He is probably heated listening to this right here. He's probably thinking that she's lying or just saying this to say it. But truth be told, she's actually telling the truth. She has the balls to say what many white women will not tell to another black man. Why? Because they're not going to tell them that, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of white women are going to be with a black man to fulfill a fantasy or to fulfill a fetish. And that right there will definitely break an ego.
Of some sort. If you get attention from the white guys, you do have the status more than if you get attention from black guys.
Now, she just said it right there. If I, as a white woman, get attention from white guys, that does give me status, because white men, society-wise or even in the world-wide, are seen as more patriarchal, the dominant part of the major dominant society. That's how they've been written. That's how they've been cast. That's how they've been scripted. No matter how much you try to deviate from that, that's how the structure is set up. If it was black men, then seeing as how any other woman would get with him, she would get the status. But she's basically saying, as a white woman, I can be with you, but I'm not going to get the same status from you as I would get if I was standing side by side with a white man.
As a man, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with that.
Well, as a woman who gets attention and who grew up in a white culture more than a black culture, I'm going to tell you that getting attention from black guys is not a badge of honor if you're white.
Now, listen to that part right there. He tried to disagree with her. He said, as a man, I'm going to have to disagree with you. And she says, well, as a woman, I'm going to have to disagree with you that you're disagreeing with me because I'm laying it out for you right here as I see it. And the embarrassing part right here in this clip is the fact that he tried to disagree with what she was saying. How is he going to disagree with her experience? He's never lived in her body, so he wouldn't know. I don't know if these two right here are in a relationship or if they're just friends or, you know, he just decided to talk to her about this. But the way that this friction is, I don't think they're in a relationship, to be quite honest. But he tried to disagree and argue her down and saying, as a man, I can't agree with that. And that goes back to a statement that I recently made. He's probably been with white women who have never told him this harsh truth before. But she did. That's why he disagreed with her. Because he's probably been told by the white women he's messed with, whether, you know, as a one night stand or in a relationship, that he was probably the best man in the world, that, you know, you could do for me what no other man could do. You know, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that and don't even mean it. But she wasn't about to stroke his ego. She gave him the facts. And I'm glad that she did. She literally right here in this moment gave him his wake up call. But he refuses to see it. And she basically said again that she gets her status if she's with a white man. Why do you think that when a lot of white women mess with black men, now they're seen as dirty? They're seen as tainted because society has lowered the black man's value down to that of, I don't know, a roach. Something that should be fearful of or squashed.
Okay.
And I'm white.
And when she said that, all he could say is, he had no other words. He couldn't come back. And then she came back and said, and I'm white, basically assuring that I, as a white woman, have no decent status alongside you. Now, maybe if you are on a spectrum of Jeff Bezos or something like that, or someone who is famous, maybe possibly, yeah. But even then, that might still be a stretch because even no matter how amount of money you have in this world, you're still not a white man. She's basically telling you that I could be with a dirt poor trailer trash white man and still have status opposed to you, and you have your stuff together. Now, that was the first part, and I'm going to pause it right quick and play the second part.
That's more valuable in white culture than if she gets attention from a black guy. If she gets attention from a black guy, that doesn't make you a better anything. Like, that doesn't raise you in anybody's eyes. As a matter of fact,
in some people's eyes, it does.
As a matter of fact, it's a little bit of you know, she's basically not good enough for the white, so she's good for the black guys. That's how it's looked at
Okay, so that's the second part right there. This is actually my first time hearing the second part. I really was paying attention more so to the first part. So I'm going to run that back and break it up into pieces and break down what she said. It's all pretty much self-explanatory. Like, this dude just completely and utterly embarrassed himself for the world to see. And she pretty much set him straight.
If a white girl gets attention from a white guy, that's more valuable in white culture than if she gets attention from a black guy. If she gets attention from a black guy, that doesn't make you a better anything. Like,
now listen to that. She says that she gets attention from a white guy in white culture, that makes her appear to be better, opposed to if she gets attention from a black guy in white culture, that doesn't make her appealing at all. And you can tell. I always say, look at body language. You can tell when she said that one line right there, how frustrated he got. Look at how, like, when you look at when she first started talking, he was more leaned forward and almost in her face. But when she said that one line right there, he leaned back in the chair, bit his bottom lip, put his arm up on the armrest, and gave her this look of disdain, like he wanted to backhand her for saying that. That's what made this whole thing right here embarrassing, was his reaction and his response to it. Rather than just agree with what she said, and he tried to downplay her entire experience when she was trying to give him facts. See, what she says, and I'm going to play the rest of it. What she's saying is what a lot of white women will not tell a black man in that moment because of this type of response that he received right here. But the thing is, why as a black man are you upset? If black men are the prize, if we are to be seen as of value, her words should not have affected what she said. While what she's saying has some validity to it, it should not have hurt his feelings. But that lets you know what type of women he's been messing with. And he's probably never had many women tell him he had value. And if they did, they probably didn't mean it because it was probably in the heat of the moment. And y'all know what I mean when I say in the heat of the moment. But that can be said about or said by any woman to any man because they're in the moment. But like I said, the body language, he leaned back in the chair, put his arm up on the armrest, bit his bottom lip, and he gave her this look like, I can't believe this. You know who what said this to me? How dare she? That was that was a look. But she gave him the facts and she gave her experience. And he tried to downplay it because he probably assumed every white woman he's been with has the same mindset, but clearly she wasn't one of them. And to be honest, many of them do have her mindset, but they're just not going to blatantly tell people like him what the deal is. But she did. He probably asked for brutal honesty, and that's what he got, but he couldn't handle it. Let's continue.
That doesn't raise you in anybody's eyes. As a matter of fact,
in some people's eyes, it does.
As a matter of fact, it's a little bit of she's basically not good enough for the white, so she's good for the black guys. That's how it's looked at.
So basically, it ends off. She basically said that he has there's no value there, and he said some people feel that way. At that point, when you can tell his tone, he felt defeated in this conversation. She won this. She won this. I guess if you want to call it a debate, it wasn't really a debate because it was really one-sided. Like she hit him at every turn, and he couldn't really counter with anything. He got hit with a huge dose of reality, and he couldn't handle it. Like he really couldn't handle it. But all I'm saying is this: if you as a black man have value, this right here should not affect you. You should be able to just pick your balls up and keep it moving on to the next. But now that she has said this to him, he's probably going to contemplate every white woman he encounters now. He's probably going to contemplate that. He shouldn't even take this as a defeated lesson. He should take this as a learning experience. That way he can better vet, like, should he ever go and pursue another white woman, keep in mind what she said. At least I hope he does. And, like I said, let it be a learning experience. Let it be a lesson. Don't let it be a complete L, if you know what I mean. Because, like I said, she was speaking the facts. And sometimes you need to be hit with a dose of reality. And that's exactly what he received in that moment. And she wasn't even trying to say it in a way that belittled him or put him down, but she was giving him reality. And not only was she giving him reality about when it comes to dating and mating a white woman, but she gave him a dose of reality of what it is to be white in this world, period. No matter if you're a white man, a white woman, a white girl, or a white boy. She basically laid out for him what the hierarchy is in this video between these two clips while framing it around dating and mating. You can tell he's probably never had this conversation before. That's why it hit him like a ton of bricks. Because if someone was to have this conversation with me, I would have handled it a whole lot differently than he did. I would not have looked defeated. I would have not looked disappointed. And that's exactly how he felt in that moment. But now, like I said, hopefully he takes this experience and really contemplates further when it comes to choosing a mate. And should she happen to be Caucasian, really digest and remember what she said. Because she didn't say anything wrong. She gave her experience. But he tried to downplay it as if her experience was invalid. Like, how are you going to tell her what her experience is? Like, she's not just saying it to say it, and she's probably in a way helping him. So should he pursue a white woman in the future to know what signs to look for, what to look out for? She could be saving his life. Or in some cases, she could be saying, look, go back home. I don't have to break down what that is. That's probably what she's telling him without actually telling him. But I'm going to hop off of this right now. Y'all let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you in the next one.